All right, hello everyone. So we're on to our last paragraph here in this brief story about the Greeks getting some stuff together so that they could finally conquer and defeat Troy. So if we start in this last paragraph, we start with omnibus factis right here, which is an ablative absolute. All right, so that's going to be an ablative absolute, right? Factis being the participle, and then omnibus being the noun. I mean, it's obviously an adjective acting like a noun. It's a substantive, and factis is a perfect passive participle. So basically, that means with all having been done, with everything having been done, meaning they have the Bow of Heracles, Neoptolemus is back from Skyros, and now they finally have the Palladium, right? With everything having been perfectly passively done, nominative victory, erat, was certain. Very easy grammar here. The nominative subject victory was equal to being predicative adjective certain. So that first sentence should be something like, with everything having been done, victory was certain. Now we get into something that we just learned, which are these doubting clauses, right? So you see dubitavit, so that should trigger you, and then quin. So remember, for doubting clauses, it's usually dubito, could be another verb, and then either quin or num. Quin meaning that, and then num meaning whether. Here it's quin, so it's that. And then the subject, if you go subject hunting, is actually going to be nemo. Nemo here is nominative singular. The nominative singular of a third declension noun, no one. No one. It's really like ne and homo together. Homo hominis, a human being. Ne, no. No one, no human being. No one dubitavit, perfectly doubted. No one doubted. Quin, that. What didn't they doubt? They didn't doubt some subjunctive thing might happen. And if you're searching for verbs, the subjunctive here jumps off the page as this this imperfect subjunctive. Should be vinceret. Sorry, it's another typo. So no one doubted that the nominative Greeks might win imperfectly, right? Nobody doubted that the Greeks would win because all this stuff had been accomplished. And the nemo obviously meaning like none of the Greeks. So with everything having been perfectly passively done, victory was certain. Nominative, no one doubted that the Greeks would conquer, would win. This, again, is from the verb vinco, vincere, vici, victus. So obviously just like a typo here. It should be vinceret. And that is in a doubting clause, right? So this is a doubting clause, use of the subjunctive. All right, next up. Greci, fessissimi bello, tandem se vincere Troiam paraverunt. The Greeks, fessissimi bello. Fessissimi, obviously superlative, and that means tired, like defessus or fessus means tired. So very tired, most tired. Bello, from ablative war. So this, if you really are parsing, it's kind of ablative of cause. It's the cause of their tiredness. It is the means of their tiredness, whatever. I mean, the ablatives I'm not too terribly picky about because they're all sort of adverbial. But this means the Greeks, the nominative plural Greeks, nominative, superlatively plural, very tired from war, paraverunt. What did they do? They prepared. And they prepared to do an infinitive. They prepared, they prepared set themselves. That's the direct object. Tandem. Finally, at last, they prepared themselves, the accusative, to conquer accusative Troy. Troiam is the direct object of the infinitive, and set is the direct object of the actual verb. So what was prepared, the accusative set themselves, What was conquered was the Troia, the accusative direct object of vincere. So that whole thing should be something like the Greeks, very tired from war, finally prepared themselves to conquer Troy, accusative Troy. I hope that makes sense. We'll talk about it in class. Okay, I'm just going to clear these notations out so we can annotate the rest of it here. The next part, sacerdotes omnibus in castris imperavit ut magna voce ad Deos orarent. So again, if we go verb hunting, which is what you should do if you're trying to get a foothold here, you have imperavit, which is a verb that means to command, and obviously this is with the ut is going to be an indirect command. And you're going to have the sacerdotes, the priests. The priest commanded, another typo, sorry, imperaverunt, plurally. I'll fix this. Maybe I'll upload a new copy without the typographical errors, right? So the priest ordered, whom did they order? Omnibus. And remember, you order dative things rather than indirect objects. The priests ordered everyone in the camp to do what? To pray, right? This is the imperfect subjunctive, to pray in a loud voice. In a loud voice, ablative of manner. And how should they pray? With a loud voice, in a loud voice, ad Deos, to the gods. To the gods. So the priests, the nominative sacerdotes, priests, ordered all the dative people in the camp to do what? To pray in a loud voice to the gods. And that is an indirect command, right? Imperaverunt plus the ut. I hope that makes sense. We'll obviously talk about it in class tomorrow. The next piece, another ablative absolute, precibus missis. Precibus, if you, for some reason not included, it means prayer. So vocab here. So you should maybe add this to your vocab, is prex, feminine, prayer. With prayers having been perfectly passively sent, if that makes sense. With prayers having perfectly passively been sent, the milites, the nominative soldiers, and then if we look at our verb, positui sunt, were positioned, were placed in aciebus, in battle lines by the ablative leaders. So this is going to be an ablative of agent, aducibus, by the leaders. So if we just translate up until the et here, we have an ablative absolute to begin. With the prayers having been sent, the nominative soldiers were perfectly passively indicatively placed, positi sunt, in aciebus, in battle lines, aducibus, by the ablative of agent leaders. Et, and the duces, the nominative leaders, hortati sunt. Deponent verb means to exhort, to encourage. So it's deponent, which means it looks passive, but it's actually active. And the leaders exhorted or encouraged the accusative direct object soldiers, ut, to do what? Again, this is another indirect command. Indirect commands are verbs of commanding, urging, persuading, asking, begging, etc. And that's what we have here, a verb of exhortation, a verb of urging. So the nominative leaders urge the accusative soldiers to do something subjunctive, ut, to do what? Pugnaret, to fight, audacter, to fight boldly, Again, I apologize here. This should be plural, right? Why should it be plural? Because the soldiers are plural. I'll clean this up to make sure you have a cleaner version without the typos for tomorrow's class. So this whole sentence should be something like, with the prayers having been sent, the soldiers were placed by the leaders by the ablative agent leaders in ablative object of the preposition battle lines, achiebus, and the leaders exhorted the accusative soldiers, so that they might, or to fight audachter, boldly, in a bold way. All right, I hope this makes sense. We'll clarify tomorrow in class. Make sure you're doing your homework and make sure you're looking at vocab and whatnot. Again, apologies for some of these typographical errors. They will be cleaned up. All right, so keep washing your hands, practice social distancing. Hopefully we see each other sooner rather than later. See you tomorrow, first period.